a spectacular Baron steal to close.
Man. Yeah, that's how S won last time too, with Horo on Lee Sin with a great Baron steal once again. So we have 3 junglers now banned out. Of course, 2 powerhouse mid laners, and are we gonna see a Renekton? Not at all shocking. Yep, Renekton gonna be locked in, and you know, it wouldn't be at all surprising once again to see another Shyvana on Flame. He's okay with playing that matchup either way. He's so confident in his lane mechanics.
Yeah, no Annie this time. Looks like Lustboy wants to change it up just a little bit. Now, of course, that Anivia ban, accidental, giving Lustboy the Annie when they intended to ban it out in the last game. They have switched sides, however, so Blaze will be playing off of the red side this game, so they will have that final pickup. Daydream's Kha'Zix may come into the fray. Of course, his Kha'Zix has been excellent.
Yeah, it was. So I was scared of it, and I was just casting the game last time. This guy, you see him on the screen, you're like, well, someone's gonna die. So Daydream possibly gonna pick up Kha'Zix, and I think the Thresh pickup, a lot of it might be in response actually to Marin, because earlier we saw Marin on Renekton just flashing forward every time to start the fight, and Annie at that point really doesn't have an answer unless you want to do a one-man stun. So with Flay, you still have a method of disengage from that very aggressive bruiser and then re-engage with your hook.
Yeah, absolutely right. What makes Daydream's Kha'Zix so impressive is how he positions himself in the jungle and how he's able to set up dives early on while also zoning out the enemy jungler and forcing the threat of that 1v1. And there's not very many junglers that are going to be able to win an early duel against Kha'Zix right there. So Daydream's really good at positioning himself in the enemy jungle as Kha'Zix and hedging his bets. Either he's going to get that dive or he's going to find the enemy jungler and burn him down.
You know, of course, Kha'Zix very good at isolated 1v1s. That's what that champion is kind of built for. Are we going to see a Lucian locked in for Bang? Monty, you talked about Bang very early on in the broadcast about how he's just so consistent. You know, never scared to pick up an AD carry and a Pantheon jungle possibly coming in from Horo. Pantheon, the only place we really see him these days is in the jungle.
It's a bit interesting to me that we see the Lucian pick up so early on in this game when, of course, we have Caitlyn and Sivir still available. Shyvana will be locked in for Flame this game, and Emperor Corki, one of his signature AD carries. He played it a lot at WCG. Post Corki nerfs to great success. Blaze running through WCG this year without losing a game, finishing off OMG 2-0 in the finals.
Yeah, that was a very good run. And that was kind of when a lot of people had faith in this rebuilding of Blaze. And Emperor, he's still very concerned. Of course, Corki, you don't see him these days for very good reason. And eventually switches to that Sivir a bit safer and more standard pickup.
Now, of course, Caitlyn the better counter in lane to Sivir, so I'm wondering if S has a game plan in order to deal with the Sivir right here. They do have a lot of early pressure coming in from the top lane if we don't see Blaze force that 2v1 again.
All right, so Annie being hovered over, of course, still left through all the picks as a potential support pickup for T1. And gonna go for the Orianna. Last time we saw Yeezyun with an amazing 4-man shockwave to help win one of the last team fights for T1S.
They had that Yasuo in the top lane from Marin. So set up a really beautiful combo. And that'll be perhaps locked in here. I think he will be grabbing that Orianna. It's a very safe pick scaling into the late game. And Yeezyun, he's always been known. He never really truly transitioned over to Assassins. He's been a Syndra player, he's been an Ori player, a big Karthus player as well. He likes to farm up, and we saw him with over 700 CS.
Record-breaking CS numbers.
Insane amount of CS. Sitting on a pile of 8,000 gold. He couldn't spend any more money.
Nope, he had nowhere to spend it, was just getting richer by the second. Now Ambition thinking very carefully on what he's gonna pick up for the mid. Ambition is known as one of the better Nidalee players here in Korea. It's he kind of pulls out Nidalee when he feels he's in a slump. He's like, I'll just throw some spears and get back into the game. And Easy, and also what I like about Easy and Zorion, he's so confident in his decision-making with that champion that he's never too concerned that he has to work with another initiator if he ever wants to use Shockwave. He can just place it on his own with that Q. Very good positioning as that champion.
You know, that said, we do have some pretty threatening siege in the mid-game here from the Sivir wave clear combined with Ambition with the spears. They're not going to have the best team fighting. They're going to be relying on landing spears and then poking their opponents before Kha'Zix can really go in and start getting some of those resets off. Meanwhile, SKTS set up very nicely for some engage. They've got a lot of tools, Flash with the Tibbers, the Pantheon ult from behind in order to set up some plays.
Yeah, and with Pantheon, I mean, Pantheon is an all-in type of champion. You definitely don't want to second-guess yourself, so we'll see how Horo does on that. He's been looking good the past couple times we saw him. This is the Masters match between SKT, T1, and CJ Entus. The rosters are T1S and, of course, Entus Blaze coming out. But it's for the entire team, so T1 versus Entus, it comes down to this. T1 may have the 2-0 lead, but can Entus prevent another +3 points for SKT T1? As we load into this last set, these two guys have played a 70-minute set before. Let's see how it turns out this time. This time around, as we mentioned in Picks and Bans, it's going to be T1 on the blue side with CJ Entus on the purple side.
Okay, well, nothing too weird so far. All summoners look relatively normal in this game. And no strange itemization. This time, Lustboy starting with the Doran's shield. So he won't be going for that fast coin for the extra gold. Ambition starting to throw some spears already. Easy Hoon with a bit of a dodge here in the mid lane. Of course, Ambition, it's always exciting to see Nidalee on Blaze because it's always been a dual threat champion for this team. Flame known for his ability to play Nidalee as well, and we used to nearly always see Nidalee banned out because it was an option pick. It created so many different scenarios and picks and bans that teams just didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah, and that was back when Flame was a new guy on the field. He didn't seem to have a wide champion pool. Of course, now it's a pocket pick for him, as you mentioned, also for Ambition. And there's Flame as we talk about him, this time playing Shyvana, kind of became his signature champion recently.
Daydream sitting in a jungle right here. Marin and Horo coming in for a little bit of an early invade. They're just trying to get some wards down, so no worries right there. They want to keep track of this Kha'Zix. Again, we talked about the threat this represents, and Horo really, he's got an early game jungler as well. A lot of power, but he doesn't want to meet that Kha'Zix at level 3.
Yeah, so that early ward from T1 is going to give them the knowledge they need about Daydream's pathing, his priorities.
There's a drawing of Easy Hoon.
Oh, that's pretty well done. He looks a lot happier in the drawing, though. He's kind of known for not having any expression when he's playing. All right, so how is this bottom going to play out? Is Daydream looking for a level 3 gank here? He did start red. Yeah, Lustboy keeping the opponent zoned in the bottom lane.
Yeah, they've got the eyes on him right now. And Ember and Lustboy, they do have the better wave clear early with the Ricochet and Boomerang Blade. Ember actually starting Ricochet this game, so just trying to keep this as pushed as possible early on. Make sure they can get that quicker level 2.
Yeah, the great thing about
Kha'Zix starting red this time. I don't know what we're going to see. I'm very curious as to what Daydream is going to decide after he gets level 3.
A prediction hook from Lustboy. Airballs it, but it's okay. Should be off cooldown should Daydream choose to come down to this bottom lane as soon as he picks up the blue buff. I do see a ping from T1. Just kind of timing Daydream's movements.
One of the problems with running Nidalee in the mid lane and why she's become more of a situational pick these days is that it's very hard to kill someone with a Nidalee mid laner, with a jungler. Daydream just walking by right here, making sure nothing's going to happen. She just doesn't have any kind of good gap closers, really reliant on a distance spear early to chunk someone, and that doesn't translate well to running up to them afterwards and finishing off a kill. So she's mostly a farm jungle or a farm mid pre-6, and Daydream's going to look to make plays on other lanes, including this push one. But here comes Pantheon.
Yep. All right, Daydream spots Horo. He's going to leap forward first. Horo doesn't go for too early of a stun. Nice distance keeping from Daydream, and Flame now has to back off from the 1v1. Bottom still in favor. A nice spear, but again, early levels, not much AP. Bottom, they're going into a bit of a fight. Nice hook onto Wolf as soon as the stun lands. But Lustboy is ignited. He's ticking down, and there is the first blood from Wolf as he sends a Q after the flash. More damage down onto Emperor. Emperor, quite low, has a health pod, so he's going to try to stick around as long as possible. And Horo now pressuring Daydream.
Yeah, Lustboy not even using his Ignite there. I think he may have been able to force the back.
Oh!
Emperor is a flash!
And the barrier from Bang is going to save him through that tower dive.
Kha'Zix's trying to make it down there, but he is not going to be in time. Bang will go ahead and recall out about a second too late, and that is just disastrous for Blaze right there. You know, you got to meet that aggression with aggression. If he throws down that Ignite, it's better just to throw it down himself, and now Horo has a big opportunity.
Yep, top lane, it's going to go for a dive. Horo takes the tower damage first with his passive, gets the block, gets the stun. He has to get out, flashes out just in time as Marin tries to finish the skill. No! Flame runs away just far enough and gets the kill onto Marin, and there's the level up in Flame.
That was misplayed by...
Wow!
That was a little sloppy by S, but Flame keeping his composure. Now Daydream coming in. There's not much that's going to happen here. EasyHoon should be able to get out of this one.
Yeah, EasyHoon just going to walk all the way bottom side, actually. Takes a bit of damage, but waits until the rest run out. Flame with the level up and the Ignite, helping pick up the kill against Marin. This is why Flame is just the king of top laners.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty darn good. Let's take a look at that again. So coming in here, 50% HP for Marin. Horo opens up. They get the stun. Oh, they stacked their CC. That's what happened right there.
Yeah.
Had they not stacked their CC, they didn't coordinate the stuns being used. If Horo had opened with the stun instead and allowed Marin to close the gap and then fire off his W, they would have been able to nail down that kill.
Yeah, the Ignite onto Horo also almost giving Flame a double kill. That would have been just disaster for T1, but guess you have to count your blessings. T1 still has a lead thanks to the 2 kills here in the bottom lane and some CS leads here and there.
Flame just blast hitting under the turret. Of course, Renekton coming back into lane with that pickaxe, but it'd be a lot harder to deal with Flame because he was able to go back and pick up the Ninja Tabi very quickly.
Yep, an early pickup for that lane.
But Sivir still up in CS here, interestingly enough. So she's been using that wave clear to push Lucian in early, and they did have a nice zone early on. So those kills not quite as meaningful, of course. The advantage still going over to S. At the moment, Ambition manages to chunk EasyHoon out of lane, and he'll get some good turret damage down. Now the level 6, this lane will start to tilt a little bit differently.
Yeah, not sure what happened to put EasyHoon so low, but Ambition managed to do that, and now Daydream and Ambition looking for a play at the blue. Blue did just respawn. There's a ward. They know
diving.
that.
They're diving instead. Oh, no, they're just putting a ward down.
They want to keep all their vision clear. Daydream right around the wall. He was seen.
Yeah, he was.
Good ward placement by Horo.
Ambition's still there. They're looking for this. They
might want to check that brush.
Oh, no.
Okay, well, they're going to start the blue. They do see Horo there, so Daydream might just take this with the smite.
Nope.
An earlier smite and gives it to Ambition. Nice timing on their skills there. So blue steal, and that's going to make mid lane very miserable. And going for a possible dive, Flame pushes Marin out of the tower. Flame very low, though, so Daydream just has to back off with that lead.
It's okay. The fact that Flame is even in CS right now and has that kill is a win. Of course, Renekton not going to scale as well into the late game, so things going well for Flame in the top lane. they've abandoned the bottom lane a little bit. Emperor has had to get a second Doran's Blade just for a little bit of extra oomph in terms of combat stats. Ambition there, he is at full HP. And I don't... We'll see. Now everybody converging now. Lustboy also moving down. And
nice spear by him. He's been on point this game with his spears, even from level 1 and onward. That's going to completely shut down that blue steal. So Daydream going to go ahead and take that for himself. Ambition not making a move towards it. Of course, Kazakhstan happily use a blue buff. So now that keeps EasyHoon at Banhoro not able to go for the red because of that spear damage. That's going to put him back a lot in terms of timings.
Yeah, that's pretty huge right now. It'll delay his level 6 also. Meanwhile, Wolf gets spotted by a little bit of a ward right there. And that's not going to be going much of anywhere. Seeing if he can get behind Ambition, but Italy pretty darn difficult to lock down.
And Daydream has managed to sap XP here and there, and also
Daydream is 2 levels up.
Exactly. We have more CS in the jungle to be 2 levels up. Already hits that level 6. So with that evolution, he can dive a lot easier, and Pantheon has yet to be able to jump around the map with his Grand Skyfall.
Flame now starting proxying farming as well. He's feeling very safe. We have this AD jungler right here, so the Ninja Tabi, the Chain Vest, going to keep him pretty comfortable in this proxy farming situation. Marin going a little bit far forward there, and he's going to start proxying himself.
The good times of top lane where you don't see each other anymore.
The issue this may present is EasyHoon is relatively vulnerable in the mid lane. He's got the creeps pushing up, and now Flame just going to go ahead and take the jungle, but he could dive theoretically into this mid lane. Marin looking for a bit of a roam as well.
All right, but he's not going to see the window he needs. The minions now coming in time. Horo is finally level 6. Is he looking for an ultimate into a gank?
I think they're hoping that Sivir is going to push this lane up so they have an option to get behind them, but I don't know if Emperor and Lustboy are going to play that aggressively, considering they're already a little bit behind here. Flame continuing just to farm out the jungle. They haven't found that pink ward yet. A little bit of a mistake right there that they haven't checked, because that pink ward's been up for quite some time. Definitely been worth its money. But Flame also farming here a little bit blind. He doesn't have a lot of ward coverage to protect him.
Still pretty confident with that chain vest, and now he's going to go even further. Flame is really putting the pressure onto Marin and pretty much the entire team of T1, really. They need to make a decision here.
He wants Pantheon to come so that they know where he is, so that he can't use his ult as effectively, and Ambition keeps landing the spears in the mid lane.
He's pretty sure he's only missed maybe one at the very beginning.
Flame is only proxying that deep because he knows that EasyHoon is chunked and can't rotate to punish him. And here may be the dive they're looking for. Daydream here as well. EasyHoon playing scared. Instead, they're going to give up the turret.
Yep, Marin was trying to come through, but he's a bit too far. So that's going to be the first turret going in favor of CJ Entus.
Marin has ulted.
Marin has ulted, and he's going to get caught amongst 3 players of CJ Entus. There's the ultimate from Flame. Marin has to turn back around to try to stun and start a fight, but it's too late. As the leap comes in, the reset from Daydream, he leaps even further forward, and that's a double kill for Flame. 3 kills for CJ Entus, leading right into the 2nd tier tower, while the bottom lane duo goes for the dragon.
That was just a jump for joy at the end there from Kazakh's Daydream. A little bit late on that one as Flame picked up the double kill, but wow, they will just power through objectives one after the other. In spite of that little hiccup in the lane early on, Flame and Ambition have carried their weight on the top side of the map, and Emperor and Lustboy right back into this one with a massive global gold shift. Flame, come on, buddy.
Just that pink ward is gonna live forever, but just a bit of a misstep from Marin. He gets, there's a Grand Skyfall coming in. Lustboy is pretty low. Nice timbers to keep Emperor locked down and lands right on top of that poor Sivir. Gets a quick kill and the tier 1 turret here at bottom for
good
SKT.
response. Good response by S there, and good coordination. You know, they got the on the hunt out and were able to kill him anyway. Did take a flash timbers from Wolf, but that'll be some really needed money. They're about to be sad when they see that that Dragon is not quite there anymore, taking out a pink ward at the very least, however. Ambition trapping up the river and moving down, and Lustboy and Daydream are there.
Was caught. Now we do see Daydream melting right away. Lustboy tries to keep them locked down, but melts too fast. Bit over eager coming from the CJ Entus players.
Yeah, SKTS staying grouped up as well, so he wasn't getting a lot of isolation damage and wasn't quite able to finish it off. So Blaze with some crisp rotations, but then some questionable decision-making right afterwards.
And Flame knows how to trade right around that tower, knows all the distances. Keeping Marin at about 70% health throughout, so Marin has to keep dancing back and forth. That's going to bring up Wolf and Horo.
You know, it's interesting. He's got his Sunfire already, and he's decided to get that Vamp Scepter a little early off the strength of his CS lead and his kills that he's picked up. So he may be going for a faster Blade of the Ruined King this game to continue snowballing his advantage in a split push situation, which I think is what you want to do right here, especially because Ember and Lustboy, you have to relieve some pressure on them so they can kind of catch back up here. Of course, the Bloodthirster already finished onto Bang, but they may be trying for some more invades around the red buff. Wards going down, just making it safe to be there together, and waiting for Ambition to hit a spear and then Daydream to put something down. They do see the spear coming through the warded brush.
And Lustboy was also spotted at double golems with that 60-second ward. And the earlier Blade of the Ruined King on Flame also not going to really make him any less tankier, because we don't really need a Randuin's. There's not a huge attack speed champion on the side of SKG T1. There's not that much magic damage, so should be happy with that lead.
Well, also, he's just going to be as tanky as a Shyvana would normally be in this situation, except since he has that edge, he's going to be putting out a lot more damage as well. And since Sivir's going to also fall off in the late game in terms of damage, and she's already behind, their damage has to come from another source, and that's going to be Flame.
Oh, Marin taking a lot of damage with that red buff. Look at Flame just keeping his perfect distance from that tower. Horo's nearby, but so is Ambition and Daydream. They've been spotted. Now Marin needs to really watch out. Doesn't matter if he has vision, because he doesn't have a window to run away from. There's a leap in from Daydream. Marin now stuck against the wall. Nice Javelin landing right against the wall. And Horo canceling his ultimate to now chase down Flame. There's Easy, and can they put out enough damage?
They
no,
can't do this. They're so afraid of Ambition's spears
Horo.
at this point.
So very low. Now, SKG T1's hope lies in this bottom lane right now. As you mentioned, Emperor is sort of behind in the battle of AD carries, and they're keeping Emperor that way, but as long as CJ just can hold on to their second tier, they're taking advantages everywhere else on the map.
I couldn't quite get that tier 1 in the top. Ambition moves back to continue putting pressure on mid. But the wave clear, at the very least, from Sivir should be able to hold them off the tier 2 tower in the bottom lane. And so they don't lose an objective for that. Instead, pick up a kill, continue to keep Marin down. Now, Marin found a great way to get back into the game last time. I don't know if he's going to be so lucky in game number 2.
Yeah, especially with Flame being significantly ahead in kills. Has gone for that offensive item we talked about earlier as a Vamp Scepter. Now Emperor trying to match items, still quite behind, doesn't have anything to match the gold from the Sheen, but at least has that Bloodthirster to farm up, bring up some more damage, and keep sustaining in lane should he get poked.
Okay, well, Flame playing a little bit more cautiously right now. EasyHoon has actually been moved up there for the wave clear, and to present a little bit more threat to the proxy farming out of Flame. And Bang now farming up the mid lane, getting as big as he can.
This gives Emperor some time for a very free push down in the bottom. We have Lustboy keeping eyes on the river, and he sees Wolf and Bang move in through that brush. Oh, the damage from one single Javelin. Wolf needs to watch on Ambition, doesn't want to get too greedy. They want to clear out that pink ward as soon as possible. There it goes down. So nice protection of the ward. Also keeps Wolf low, so they can't go for a power play here in bottom.
Yeah, or a Dragon, which is going to be coming up soon. So Annie having to be a little bit more careful now.
Ambition, some nice positioning as he clears to make sure he doesn't get hit. Keeping his health up so he can poke As Dragon comes up, 20 seconds, we see Flame.
Just insane wards from Blaze around this as well. Now, they can't just straight up do it. They're going to need to get some sort of damage or a pick-off here, and that's...
Horo knows something's up. Horo knows something's up, but he eventually walks right in. There's the play and a kill for Emperor. That's going to bring him back into the game. Now, Bang & Wolf, they get a nice on Daydream. Daydream rushed way forward out of his team. Eventually goes down to the Ignite. Should have let Lustboy walk forward first.
Yeah, maybe a misuse of the box there as well. They destroyed Horo so quickly that the ultimate was used for not a lot of gain. They don't have Smite right now, but neither does SKT. They're...
All right, nice Spirit Throw, and Lustboy takes 7 damage, but there's the heal coming in from Nidalee.
Flame is a monster.
Ambition is going to push away Ezio. Meanwhile, Flame sitting on top of 2 people. Bang just waiting for his cooldowns. Eventually has to use Flash. Oh, there's the flash over from Flame. Gets 2 kills against members of SKT. Marin getting very low as Horo finally comes in. Emperor blocks the stun with his spell shield. Can they chase through to pick up one more kill? Oh, the hook barely misses on Horo's Pantheon.
Yeah, Flame not going to be able to pursue that. However, Ambition goes down. The rest of Blaze looking pretty good. Daydream now revived as well, so they managed to get that Dragon. They use the burst from the Nidalee Spear to secure it and take the advantage in kills as well. Another 2 kills onto Flame here, 6-0-2 at less than 20 minutes. Daydream little bit overconfident in his burst this game, but he has managed to pick up some good assists.
He should, at the very least, get away just fine and contest this, in fact. There's a Smite coming in from Horo.
Look at the wards from Blaze on the bottom side of the map right now. They have about 9 wards in the enemy jungle. Let's take a look at this one again. Very patient, just waiting there. Ambition manages to pick it up. Lustboy turning around immediately. Now look at Flame in the pit right here. Ambition tries to get onto Easyhoon. Nice shockwave kites him backwards a little bit. Flame is taking virtually no damage right now. He's been dueling 3 of them for most of that fight at the back of the pit. Ambition tries to kite this one out, gets a heal off Marin with the flash on top to finish him.
But Ambition also drawing out that shockwave and keeping Easyhoon zoned for the entire fight. Easyhoon had no damage onto anyone but Ambition throughout that battle, and eventually just walked right into a perfect flash position for Flame as he jumped over the wall for a double kill.
Now Wolf going with Lustboy's Annie build here. Again, rushing boots mobility and the distortion enchantment instead of trying to level up that coin and get it into a talisman as fast as possible. Flame already has a blade and a spectral cowl in this top lane. This is not going to go well for Marin.
Nope. We do have Horo nearby. He goes home. And we have some members of SKT just scouting out, and Marin eventually going to have to run away. Yeah, don't want any of that. And with those kills and now that tower, Emperor should be able to catch up in terms of items. Some damage put down onto Marin. Nice boomerang blade. I sense a potential fight. Easyhoon itching for a shockwave, but the ward is going to keep CJ Entus safe as Ambition now comes around to join. Middle lane is pressured against that inhibitor. Wards being cleared, and once again, now we're seeing all the wards shift to the top side of the map.
Marin.
Poor Marin.
I mean, already a death cap here for Ambition. I mean,
they might have wanted to dive into that, but of course, Daydream would have just had to jump right back out, so just sending Wolf home is enough as Flame now able to tank down this turret as Emperor takes it down with that attack speed. Horo almost gets chunked from a javelin.
So 2 turrets taken in that press from Blaze, and they'll increase that global gold lead a bit. And their siege now just looking pretty unstoppable here.
Yeah, and they're just keeping that momentum up so well. Not necessarily through kills, although they do have a decent amount, but the tower rotations coming in from Blaze. And Ambition so on point with his javelins. Marin's stun is down. There's the play. Box a bit late. Another javelin and dodges the Tibbers. Ambition draws out the Tibbers stun, so trade a box for a Tibbers.
Well worth the trade if you're Blaze.
Yeah.
Well worth the trade. Because you can't, the thing is that this siege comp, you just can't get initiated on, and you're going to win. So the less initiation tools your opponent has to get you in that hard CC, the better. Wolf now moving up. He has to come here with Horo. Flame still pressing up there in top. And yeah, there's not a lot of armor yet onto Marin either, which is problematic because Flame is putting out so much attack damage, physical damage with his Blade of the Ruined King.
Yeah,
so
Marin was very concerned about those javelins, I guess.
I guess so. Well, I mean, of course, Burnout does a lot of damage from Shyvana too. There's Ambition jetting around the map on the Lantern.
Yep, they're just gonna keep Bang Zone. Ambition relying on his heal to tank that tower for a couple hits. And Wolf does join the fray, but he doesn't have Tibbers. Easier now here with Shockwave, but Ambition once again position and dodges command attack to keep throwing out spears. He wants to land.
Flame
Flame is here now with a Banshee's Veil. Isn't gonna take that damage, it's just gonna wait. He's gonna harass, he's so confident. Taking a couple hits, that's all right. That pushes back SKT T1 even further. They want to try to chunk down Ezio and has the best wave clear right now. Meanwhile, we have a duel between Marin and Daydream. Javelin not going to hit. Are they going to keep chasing through? Flame comes in for the pinch. Marin now caught against 3 members. There's the final Javelin to pick up the kill. And now Flame flashes forward to ult onto 2 members of SKT T1. Where are they going to run to? There is a command attack, but it's not in position anymore. There's a good Shockwave, but a nice flash for Ambition. It eventually gets bursted down by Distance. Flame still on top of 4 members of SKT T1. Daydream flashes forward for a kill, but Tibbers comes back in time for a nice cleanup by SKT T1. Emperor and Lustboy, they don't want to chase too far. They got 3 members low enough, and they can pick up the tower and another ping on Dragon. A bit greedy from CJ Entus, but still going to take the advantage here.
Now, I like the idea coming in from Marin right there because there has to be some way to break that siege, and if you threaten the jungler on the outside, the problem is that Blaze is running Sivir, and that allowed them to respond to what Marin was trying to do a little bit too quickly. Had there been another AD carry, he probably would have been able to get away with that and force CJ Blaze off that tier 2 turret. As it was, Blaze will take the tower, Blaze will take the dragon, and Blaze will take an even bigger lead. Yeah. So right here, just the speed given by his team allows them to kind of catch up and rotate just a little bit faster. Flame on top of 2 members, gets the Flame Breath down immediately. Ambition trying to poke from the side, but they get the burst onto Ambition right there in the CC. Very helpful for the quick turn. Daydream again, overcommits right here, gets smashed by Tibbers after using his jump in, and Emperor also taking the long way around.
Yeah, so what I do like about watching Flame play is he makes the quickest decisions. 2 seasons back, we saw his cannon play as a highlight. Oh, Lustboy gets caught, has to use the box to run away. There's the flash, he'll be safe for a little while.
Yeah, no chance to fight right there. Ambition and Flame, the most dangerous players right now, based on the events of this game, who has the kills. And unfortunately, too, for SKTS, 1/3 of their kills are held by Wolf right now on Annie. So he's taken a disproportionate amount of the gold, as has Horo. So their actual carry's a bit starved.
All right, Bang gonna chase far forward. They know that Lustboy doesn't have his box. Even with the dissonance, the Boomerang Blade going to help keep SKT T1 at bay. Now Flame moving back towards mid. Wolf is pretty low. He's primed just for a nuking down. Flame rushing in a nice Javelin onto Ezio. They have to run away. Flame jumps right onto Ezio and a nice Javelin after the slow from the Bilgewater Cutlass. And Flame chasing through. Ambition lands another one. SKT T1 has to run all the way back. They can't second guess themselves. That wasn't even full range, and Marin gets chunked down.
And this will be a very easy Baron. You look at the damage from CJ Blaze. They've got that Kha'Zix who does immense Baron damage, and the Shyvana with the Blade. This will go down real fast.
Yeah, it's just getting melted. The Blade slow onto Ezio, set up for a nice Javelin, as Ezio had no other pathing other than behind that turret. Marin getting chunked by Emperor, and they're going to keep chasing through the red buff, helping with the slow. Kha'Zix jumps forward for a kill. Uses his ultimate for the speed. And
well, this game is a lot more one-sided than the first one. Looks like Blaze recuperated, able to come back and probably close this one out right now. They don't really have an answer to Nidalee.
And especially with that Baron buff, that's infinite spears, infinite sustain for the side of CJ Entus. Flame just gonna walk right off forward, goes for his ultimate again. Daydream does get stopped by the Tibbers. A nice shockwave to try to keep his teammates alive from Easyune, but Wolf still goes down to the Ignite from Flame. That's the inhibitor turret and the middle inhibitor. Will CJ Entus just keep pushing through? Marin does come up, so they're gonna back off after clearing that wave.
Yeah, it's smart of them to back off right now. They don't want to lose an advantage like they had in the first game.
Yep, they definitely learned their lesson after that one. Flame just not stopping at anything. 8-0 and 5.
Just look at the item difference between Flame and Marin here.
I don't know if Marin really wants to start this fight. Even with Horo coming through, Flame's actually gaining health while fighting Marin. Does get slowed. Flame is just going to turn back around. Horo gets chunked.
He's
and
still
SKT,
gaining health.
T1 has learned their lesson. This dragon is actually just regenning off of his enemies and eventually runs away as ban comes. Look at that.
Wow.
Did you see that? Wow, 2 people and he's just regaining health.
Blade in the Baron buff. He's got 14,000 gold. He is up, what, 6,000 gold on his lane opponent right now. You can see that reflected in the items. He's just hanging around.
Waiting for a little bit more.
There he goes, finishing the Randuins.
Wow.
Not even Spirit Visage finished yet, or Banshee's Veil onto Marin. Meanwhile, oh my, that is such a tremendous difference in items.
And here we go, the rest of CJ Entus. They spend enough time in the top portion of the map, so they're going to keep Easyune and Marin zone for a little bit, pressuring this bottom inhibitor turret. Dragon does come up in a little over a minute, so even if they don't finish the tower right away, just getting some damage down. And they have another objective they can focus if they want.
Yeah, there's not much they can do to stop this. Flame with a split push, and it's doubly dangerous because he's going to get behind them right now, and he does not care about turrets or about their damage whatsoever. Baron buff still up.
The angle is there for Flame. A nice flash initiation from Wolf, but was it too rushed as Flame comes through? He cuts the entire team in half from SKT T1S. Daydream jumps through the tower. This time there's no Tibbers, and Mission is going to eventually live. He doesn't even need to heal, and meanwhile Flame has just been sitting on top of who knows how many members of SKT T1 as he's still alive, taking damage. Eventually goes back, and Mission gets some payback onto the girl with the teddy bear. And CJ Entus gets another inhibitor. They should be able to close this one out. Only 2 members left. No shockwave on Easyune. Flame, the ever-regenning player of CJ Entus, as they finish the game and finally take a set from the